Hi, my name is Rinku Sharma. I recently got selected in Deputy Zero. Here, here here Deputy Zero provided a internship assignment before I go forward to next step for interview. Now I already opened the link. Here I here we go through all the requirement necessary for the internship assignment. Now, here the deputy zero team will already explain how will our assignment will be look like. It team will be also provided a, a demo video. So how our project structure will be happen. Now we go through assignment and overview. You are expected to set up a Docker Compose-based system. The Docker Compose-based system will be it's we include all the code inside code and how many container will be run. We, all the single command will be run multiple container in Docker Compose file. Yeah, and download the source code. I already downloaded the source code, and here it's showing. Yeah, I already downloaded the source code. Inside it, now this contain two folders. One is Go application and another is Python application. The readme file in two will be explain how to run this. Yeah, the thing will be I will also mention that one is service one will is Go application and service two will is a Python application. Now we we firstly run in a local site service according to readme file which is provided by team. Firstly, run the and the go application we test it, it's working not working. So I am already inside in I'm already inside in service one which is a go application and I run main.go, check the main.go is running or not. I go to localhost 8080 and select, yeah, it checked it's providing a message which is welcome to service one. It's already fine. Now we check for the same procedure. For now, I'll stop it, clear the terminal, and go to outside of service one and go to service two folder. Oh, sorry for just go to service two, which is a Python application. Now, the team will be provided readme file how to run the Python application. It uses the UV to run the Python application. UV run app.py. Yeah, it's running on port 0. It's already mentioned to port 8002. Now I go to 8002. I hit the sorry for I include. I hit the here. It's responding to welcome to service 2. Now I check the code is working fine in local system. Now I go to next step of assignment. Yeah, your first job is to put Git repository. I already set up Git repository. Yeah, I show you. I Git in it. Yeah, I initially encrypt or I then that's first job is put this in Git repository and project steps. I already set up a project structure same like a team is saying, yeah, assignment is saying, and now I'll check. I provided to check to review it. Yeah, mm, sometime neglect it, and there is project extension. Yeah, project is the same. A project file is available, and firstly, our media I add for myself for video demo. And firstly, it's saying Nginx according to assignment. First is inside the Nginx will be two file including nginx.conf file and secondary Docker file, which is build the Docker image and run that. run the Docker container. So like we already set up a Docker image, Nginx to files nginx.config and Docker file.config. And then it's saying service one will set up a Docker file. Docker file. I already set up a Docker file here for myself, and service two will already Docker file. Yeah. And then it's saying and one readme file and one Docker compose YML file. I I add the Docker compose file and one readme file. I generally not mention the readme file. Now I'll add the readme file. Readme file. I'll just copy it. Add the readme file. So and rename it to readme.md. Readme.md. Yeah, according to the requester. Yeah. Now now next step is to set up a Nginx reverse proxy. So we'll do this Nginx reverse proxy also in Docker container route slash service a request to backend service which is a Go application. And if we hit service to request to backend service which is a Python application, all service must to be accessible via a single port. Like if we hit local service, local host 8080 and then local 8080 and then hit if service, it will be showing service one request. If we hit service two, the it shows the code of service two. Now, now go to assignment instruction. Here requirement. You can use Docker Compose to bring up the entire system. I already used the Docker Compose for build an entire setup. Here is I explain explain next step. So, and the Indian config should report support routing based URL path select if we hit service one, it go forward to service one, which is a Go application. If we hit service two, it will go redirected to service to which is a Python application. Logging incoming request with timestamp and pi. Yeah, it already mentioned that logging incoming requested with timestamp and with its path. That's part. The system should work with a single command, and also add one health check and both services and how log of successful routing. The that constant using Nginx must be run in Docker control, not on host. Use bridge networking. Yeah, and in other will be how to submit instruction. Now I'll explain all the code. For service one, I go to inside service where I add a Docker file. Docker file will be saying that from Go language, which image will be used, base image will be used, Golang version 1.20. And I'll set working directory slash app and copying entire code. I run go build hyphen o man, run the following code to run the uh, and export port 8080, which running, which is in port 8080 running the service one which is a Go application. Assembly slash man. Now same for I created Docker file for the same Python application. I use Python base image. I use base image Python 3.13 version. A working directory set to root slash working and run the copy the entire code and put the entire code in a directory. And pip install hyper requirement. I'll add the requirement actually which is required for the and Docker and export 8080 and run the Python app.py. Now check the all service is running perfectly. Now if I check the service one is running building Docker one image and not not working. So I run the Docker build First, I build the Docker image for service one, and tag will be service one, and use the Docker file for service one Docker file. It's building. Now it's already built. Now run the Docker container for service using the service one image. For Go application, Docker run hyphen d for detaching mode and hyphen name will be service one, and port will be exposed to 8001, which is running the Go application, and image should be service one. Yeah, it's name running fine. We will check the desktop dashboard. Desktop for Docker desktop. Yeah, it's running. I think I remove website Nginx one. I remove all the services. First, I'll remove all the services. Now now we rebuild the image and run the container on port 8001. Now check the, yeah, image will be built and running. Container will be run. Now access the container. The container will say, yeah, it's working. Check the other IP ping, I, APIs ping. Yeah, ping will be working fine. And check slash hello will be also fine. For now, same procedure will be for will be Python application service 2. Now I go to those Python 2 repo folder, and I outside of service 1 now go to service 2 folder, and check the Docker file. And now I build a Docker image for Python based application. A Docker build hyphen t tag will be service 2, and use the current Docker file. It's building the Docker image. Wait for some time. Waiting, building. Yeah, building. Now check the image will be built. Now, yeah, it's built the image. Data 6 seconds ago. Image size will be 1.05. I can reduce the size using the Python lightweight image using lightweight base image like Alpine or etc. Now, it's a demo. I use the same procedure. Now, run the container for Python based application. Docker run hyphen p detach mode and hyphen name will be service 2, and hyphen port will be 8002, which all running the Python based, and image will be service 2. Now it's check the URL local host port will be for Python application is 8002. Yeah, I include is to correct and check. Yeah, it's providing message welcome to service 2. Check all the APIs like ping slash ping. Let's say status okay ping service 2 and hello. Yeah, hello from service 2. It's fine working. Now all the all the running perfectly. Now I deleted the all images now delete it forever. Yeah. Firstly, delete the container which is running the images, and then delete the images. Now nothing will happen. Now set up the reverse proxy for Nginx. Yeah, I go to the Nginx in outside the service tool and go to Nginx folder. I check all the, yeah, Okay. Yeah, requirement will already saying that you have to create a nginx config file and docker file. It is including I use the docker file and nginx config. Firstly, I explain the docker file, which is a docker file saying that use the base image is nginx latest and copy the entire nginx.config file from current directory to /etc nginx/nginx.config. And now I'll explain nginx.config, which is what it is doing. It's listening events, listening the outside the request is sending, which is user is sending, and its request will be HTTP, and I I already mentioned that a log format is should be timestamp include time local and remote it's provide the local request requested which is request which a request is like HTTP 300 had to hit or other 404 which is which request will be had and access the log slash where log and nginx access dot log and custom and in this uh, this is helping to listen the server on port 80 if the request will be forward to 80 it will be and location will be service one if we access the slash service one application is redirected to http service one on port 8080 which is a go application I already mentioned it which is a go application I already showed that the running with docker image and pass the proxy to go application which is running on service one and then which is second will be service two which is python based application and it pass the reverse proxy same as it is like for go application pass the on port 8080 here is mentioned that go application is running on port 80801 and python application running on 80802 and I run the config file it see it create the tools firstly I create two container container for service one which is go application and service two which is python application and then time we were saying that we the system should work with a single command if we build the docker compose of python which is build docker compose will already build the all for python application service which is running service one and service two which is running python 2 and then injection. Docker Compose will help to build three images and three containers. One is for Nginx, second is for Service 2, which is Go application, and third for third for Python application, which is Service 2, and we build the entire and manage the request. And I'll use networking for bridge, which is already mentioned in assignment. I use the bridge network. I saw the Docker Compose YAML file. Here I use the Docker app network. My doc bridge network name will be app network, and it's included app network which is handle the request to communicate with each other service like service one, service two, and the next service. Here I clearly explaining the Docker Compose YAML file. Yeah, first I use the version 3 and first services. I service use to service Nginx, which is depend on service 1 and service 2. There I mentioned the depend on service 1 and service 2. Firstly, it Docker Compose will build the service 1 and service 2. Then it will build the Nginx service, Nginx container, and then running and we to communicate with each other container we use network bridge networking and it already mentioned in assignment I have used and to communicate with each other and service one saying that build the service one go inside the service one folder and export the port 80 that is running go application and health check health check will be include CMD, Carl I hyphen localhost 80801 time interval. You network will be use bridge network named app network same as it is for service 2, which is Python. You go inside then export port 8080 health check and use the network app network, and network will build bridge network. A driver will be bridge network and name is should be app network. Now if I hit if I hit now firstly I saw those Docker dash. Here is nothing will be happen, no container will be running. If I hit command will be already provided docker compose up hyphen build. It build three images. Firstly, it builds service one, like it building for Go application, then it for Python application. Go application will be already build, and now it's building for Python application. Yeah, it's building. Yeah. Firstly, it and build service one, service two, Nginx, and created network name app network, and container will be project service two one container, project service one container, and container project, and attach the service one two three with which listening the service and import like if I check the Docker desktop or all images are created, yeah, all images correct to and Nginx images is created, service two images created, service one images all created. Now check for in service could container will created or not. Yeah, at projects the service two container will be created, service two one created and Nginx service. Now access the port. It will showing that if I hit service one, it redirect to service one container application, which is a Go application. Or check the other Go application APIs like ping, it is working fine. For hello, it's working fine. Now check for the Python application, which is a service two. If I hit service two, it responds to service welcome to service two. If or check other APIs like slash ping, it say is service to status okay. I check for slash hello. Yeah, it's working fine. Now, now go to another step. Requirement is say it's a SMS will be include a short read file with setup instead how routing will and any bonus. Routing will be work like a set up a bridge network with to which is a which is intercommunication between the both pod and they here is both pod both containers will all talk to each other service if service one it engineers will be forward reverse proxy to forward to container of service one application will access all it, and here is showing our timestamp or API address or which status code will be hit. Get API will be hit and HTTP 10 and 200, which is successful. And now I already created a README file, which is I explain how each step is how it's working. Project structure or service and Nginx service, how I Nginx service will be set up and how I routing will be set up. All I included here in deep, and now I already now stop the all services and clear it, exit the terminal. I push the old code on uh, GitHub and delete the all containers. I already pushed the entire code on GitHub. I You can check it on GitHub on my GitHub. Yeah, yeah. And I also included one video setup guide which is I am currently recording. After that recording will be done. I including in the end. Thank you for if any questions or any other related query. can reach me on my GitHub or LinkedIn by Rinku as 45. Thank you. Thank you.